regatta on these flat Schuylkill is just perfect, and there should never be a problem with any difficulty. No chop to deal with here today.
Yeah, I mean, rowing is a sport that is based on technological advancements. Of course, we've come a long way since wooden boats and wooden oars. But talking about the wing rigger as a more recent advancement, we've actually moved to bow-mounted wing riggers as being sort of the premier equipment in sweep boats. And here we are, lights out and away we go. If you know, you know. In this JV4 men's grand final.
This is for the Ken Shaw Trophy. Again, racing for medals. All the rest of them, we have about 4 races to go before we get into the women's 8 events and the men's heavyweight 8 event, the final race of the day.
And good news for us, I just watched our drone launch, so hopefully we'll be able to bring you some more of those incredible pictures from the drone as he flies away to go find this race in the middle of the race course. But right now we are looking at a picture of one of our boating crews alongside, looks like...
That would be LaSalle there in the middle. Yep, and way off to the other side, Stetson.
The Stetson crew, that's correct. Sorry, I'm squinting. I think I need some glasses. But yeah, we've seen some incredible racing from these LaSalle 4s. I've been really, really impressed with their program since coming here and seeing the racing happen this weekend. Looking to probably make them one of my favorites for this race.
Well, I'm sure they've got tremendous alumni support. Many of their older rowers from years past, back when I was back there, are running this regatta, have run this regatta for many, many years. So LaSalle definitely sponsored, one of the sponsors as well up there in the corner.
There they are. What a coincidence. Yeah, so we're just seeing now this Fairfield crew on the left side of your picture, just coming off of the buoy line now, getting those port blades just a little bit too close to the line for me, but luckily they're back in the middle of their lane where they will be nice and comfortable and rowing in some clear water there.
You know, we mentioned before, these bow cox boats, the coxswain can't see the tips of the blades. He has to guess that he's in the middle, and if he's been there for a long time, he has a sense of how far out those blades stick. But you don't want to not know where those blade tips are, because if you get him in the buoys, you run that risk.
Yeah, and as an athlete, sometimes it's interesting. If you tend to be going one way or the other and you get too close to the buoys, a lot of times your tendency is to ease off in order not to get caught in those buoys, which unfortunately makes the problem worse because then you're more likely to go into that line as you ease off to try not to catch them. So it can be a positive feedback type situation.
You're watching that Stetson crew come around the turn there, and you see a little bit of variation in the height of the blades coming around. Let's see if we take a look at LaSalle here. And their blades a little bit more level, very little variations in the heights, and that just means you might have a little bit more efficiency there. We'll see when they come around whether we have LaSalle and Stetson near each other or if that LaSalle boat is in fact rowing a little more efficiently.
Yeah, I mean, I think looking at this picture, we can see that LaSalle has gotten a lead over that boat and boat on their starboard side, as well as the Fairfield crew over in lane 6. Oh, yeah. So certainly leading that half of the course at the moment. But yes, we'll be waiting for the camera view to see exactly where our Stetson, other Bowdoin, and Temple crews are. Hopefully our drone is up there by now. I would love to see some drone footage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, we just have to take the drone down when it is raining just to keep the camera and the equipment dry. So we do lose the ability to give you those really good pictures of our racing, but this is still a really excellent shot of the LaSalle crew going by there. It does look like they might be leading.
There's your Stetson crew.
Our Stetson and our first and second Bowdoin crews.
So there's your drone, and right in the middle of the course there, LaSalle in lane 4 with that lead over Stetson University in lane 3 with maybe an edge over the other Bowdoin boat in lane 2, but you look across over to lane 5, the other Bowdoin boat in lane 5, kind of pacing them. And the only person really dropping off, the only boat really dropping off, Fairfield in lane 6, just a couple of links off of that pace. Even in lane 1, the Temple University 4 still trying to hold on to the leaders here.
Yeah, so if you're in these two Bowdoin boats, what are you thinking when you're at this stage in the race and you're, bow to bow with your teammates in the grand final?
Well, have you ever been able to beat them in practice? If you've done that once or twice, can you do it here?
This is the time, if ever, of course. Yeah, so we are looking at LaSalle still just rowing in the lead here, leading this crew from Stetson, and then the two Bowdoin boats hot on their heels in lanes 2 and 5. And of course, our crew on the close side, this Temple crew, not out of it either, rowing on the shore side of the course.
Well, it looks like that LaSalle crew is just going to row away from it as they have been increasing their lead as they come down the course.
Yeah, really good performance from these LaSalle athletes to just move consistently down the race course and continue to extend their lead. This is exactly how you want your race plan to work for you. If you're not going to be neck and neck, you want to be extending that lead with every stroke that you take. And that's exactly what we're seeing with this LaSalle crew, just continuing to open up more and more open water between themselves and the next crew back, which is Stetson. And Stetson finding themselves more in that neck and neck situation with these two Bowdoin boats and also being chased by Temple as we come into the last 500.
Well, I'm not going to count Temple out because Temple is, one of their home courses. So just like LaSalle here, LaSalle certainly going to take the open water lead and hopefully all the way to the finish there. But Temple, we'll see if they can crank that up.
Yeah, at this point, I would say this is LaSalle's to lose. They have done a really good job to establish this margin and open up that margin of open water between themselves and Stetson. It will take a very mighty turn of speed from one of these three boats to overturn this this LaSalle crew at this point. But what a race we're seeing for silver and bronze.
Oh, yeah, look at the Bowdoin crew trying to pull into that Stetson. They're still overlapping here as they come in front of the stands here. Still overlapping. That Bowdoin crew could do it, but they'd have to do it now. They'd have to throw that rating through the roof in order to get through that Stetson crew. Stetson crew's really firing their guns. Look at the legs going down.
Yeah, it does look like Stetson is getting just a little harried here as Bowdoin is applying the pressure. The wheels are trying to come off in the Stetson boat. Two-man, keep it together, my son, as Bowdoin comes towards you. It is going to be a mighty, mighty battle between these two Bowdoin Polar Bear boats as they are chasing down this Stetson 4.
You had said something about Stetson. The wheels look like they're starting to come off. I mean, what you see is the guys in the boat starting to horse the blade, trying to get the boat to go faster, and usually it doesn't make it happen, but man, they held on.
Yeah, it's usually just a matter of translating that will into actual force. Just because the will is there doesn't mean that it's being translated correctly to the blade in order to move the boat. But in this case, I do think that Stetson came away with it and was able to hold off both of those Bowdoin boats. Of course, we'll wait for the official results. Everything that we say in the commentary box is unofficial.